So that happened. Yeah. And because that happened really quickly, I just want to share with you some policy changes that we may see under this new Trump administration based on what we saw before when he was president. Number one of the most important things in my office that the Trump administration may get rid of is what we call prosecutor discretion. Either eliminate that completely or minimize it. And prosecutor discretion is very good use for us right now because the courts are so backed up. This rule allows the government attorney to make a decision without going in front of the judge. Number two, we may not see renewal of a lot of these executive order type programs. So DACA, TPS for certain countries, the humanitarian parole program, even the PIP parole in place program. The life of all those programs are certainly uncertain. Those aren't the type of programs that the Trump administration would renew. Number three, I'm almost certain that we're going to see restricted border entries. A lot of people coming in, they use what we call a CBP1 app so they could set an appointment with an ICE officer in order to get paroled in the United States. We're going to see a lot less of parole approvals to enter the United States. Number four, certainly stricter asylum rule. When Trump was here the first time, he had this rule for asylum last out, first in. That means if you're the last one to send in your application, that application will be looked at first, meaning you won't really have that much time to really prepare for your asylum. It allows the system to make a decision on your court case a lot quicker. Number four, currently immigration officers have a lot of discretion when they're reviewing, going over an application. Most likely that discretion will be eliminated. They will not have that anymore. What that means is now they may need a waiver to outweigh any small negative versus all the positives. So the officer won't be able to just make a decision based on the application alone. Number five, under his administration, I'm sure we will see a lot more requests for evidence or intent to deny once you send your application in, because again, the officers will not have discretion if they see something wrong with that application. Number six, we might see the return of the public charge rule. Man, that was a headache. This really makes it a lot more difficult for someone to get their green card here in the United States. The public charge rule, basically requires you to prove that you will not become a public charge, meaning you will not be using any type of governmental assistance if you were to get your green card. No cash assistance, health care, nothing from the government. Currently, to get your green card, you just have to prove that, hey, you have someone here who could sponsor you financially, who could sponsor you. But the public charge rule is a whole different headache. Number seven, ICE raids. Oh my goodness, ICE raids might come back. Not might, I'm pretty much sure it will come back. This is where any ICE officer or any police officer, depending who he gives authority to, can stop any person they think it looks like an immigrant to ask for papers. If they don't have it with them, then they could go ahead and arrest them. The only thing I would say about that is when that happens, because it will happen, just know that as an immigrant, you still have rights. You still have the right to remain silent. So if any officers stop you, please do not speak with them. Just let them know. The only thing you need to tell them is that you would like to speak with your attorney. Do not answer any questions, no matter how basic the question sounds. Just don't open the door for any conversation. Speaking of opening the door, if they come to your house and knock on your door, do not let them inside your house. The only thing that would give them authority to get inside your house is a warrant signed by the judge. So unless they have a warrant for you, do not open the door. Do not let them inside your house at all. 8, if you qualify to naturalize here in the United States, I would recommend that you put in your application, your N-400 application in now, because I sincerely believe that citizenship examination may get harder. The criteria to becoming a citizen that may change and may be a lot harder. So again, if you qualify, what are you waiting for? You know what? I'm going to stop at number 8. There's so many changes that we could already anticipate that will come based on his prior term and just based on a lot of the promises that he made during his campaign. If you qualify to file for any family member, file for them. Put in an I-130 for them like today. If you qualify to become a citizenship, file that application today. If you qualify to file for your spouse, do it today. There's no reason for you to be waiting, especially now during this administration. If you send in a complete application for your spouse, you may not even be called for an interview. That type of discretionary decision is going to end comes January. So please, 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 if you qualify for anything, do it now while you're covered under the Biden administration rules, okay? Rolanda Adolph with Adolph Law Group. If you have any questions about immigration, which there will be a lot in the future, ask and I'll answer. Have a good night. Ciao.